Josie, thanks for joining us. You always hate to see a teammate get injured. Todd Davis, what are you looking to do in terms of this opportunity, and where do you see your fit now in this defense? You've had a prominent role. You've been a great reserve. Where do you see yourself fitting?
Yeah, it's real unfortunate to have anybody injured. You always want to move up the ladder the right way by just beating people out. But whenever Todd's back healthy and stuff like that, that'll be nice. But my role, I see it as whatever coaches see it as. But I'm just trying to work hard every day and hopefully become, within the next year, whenever it is, become a starter again. That's my main goal. I want to start on defense. Yeah, I love special teams. Yeah, I love all that other stuff. Really, whatever gets me on the field. But at the end of the day, I want to be consistent enough to be on the field and be playing defense and being with the ones and starting. So really, that's my hope. That's my goal here for the short future and for the long future, for however long football lasts for me.
Next up, Brandon Cristal.
Josie, how much do you balance helping Alexander Johnson to understand all the nuances of the defense? Because I asked Vic last week if they trust him enough to call the defense when Todd's out. And he said, no, not yet, not 100%. So it's your job to call the defense, but you still want to help your teammates. So how do you balance that?
Yeah, you want to be able to focus on yourself and be able to, put your best product out there. But also at the same time, you need both linebackers functioning at a high level. We've had to help him a little bit. He's a smart guy, but he's still working on it, and so are we all. None of us have it perfect yet. It's a balance. You got to find that balance, and you want to be able to help each other out. But in football right now, it comes down to you. You got to do you first, and then if you have time to help somebody else out, you help somebody else out. But it's been going well. Communication is at our top of our key right now, and that's what we're working on. And Todd does a great job with that when he's in. And so when we're coming in, we have to do the same thing.
Next up, Nick Kosmatter.
We hear a lot about how year two in Vic Fangio's defense is where players kind of start to get a better grasp. And what's just been your idea of how that has come along in year two? What's maybe a little bit easier now?
Yeah, it's easier just to pick up things, and not be so hesitant. I think I've been playing faster, and that's the thing. I think last year I was playing a little slow with the mental part of the game and just not letting myself go. And I think this year I've been able to, get a lot better at that and just to be able to fly around the football and not think about it too much. So, just being able to understand if one play you got outside leverage or one play you got inside leverage, and really where your help is at, either whether it be, on a run play, gapping out, or whether it be on the pass play where you have help, if you have quarters help deep, if you have half help deep, or if you can push it into another free player in man. So that's the things I've been working on and really been able to understand here with the second year, and I'm very excited for it.
Next up, Jeff Legwold.
Josie, Vic has talked a few times about how quickly things happen for the inside linebackers and how much there is to digest. I'm just curious from your perspective, what are some of those things he's talking about with you?
So a lot of those things are, I'm guessing he's talking about just the play in general. It's quick to digest. You have crossers right away. Say they have a tight formation. There's guys crossing and you're in a zone. You have to understand where your leverage is, where you have people that can help you. And then, on the RPO stuff that a lot of the teams have been running this year, last year, and, quite recently the most, you just have to try to process that and not try to get fooled by that RPO action and not come up and bite on that fake run and be able to get back in your pass drop, especially if you're in zone coverage and you have underneath coverage. So, that's the main part of those things I think he's talking about is just being able to understand the game and how quick you can go off of that because, we're only 5 yards off the ball. We're right there in all the action. So you have to process things pretty fast.
Next up, Andrew Mason.
Josie, now that you're going into your third year, if you could somehow go back and talk to yourself before the draft, what kind of advice would you give yourself that would have helped you the last couple of years?
That's a great question. I think it's just relax when you're out there and play like any other game. Early on in the first year and, into the second a little bit, there's some, nerve-wracking stuff and you have anxiety going along with the games. When you're in a system for a while, you just start to relax and not in a bad way. You start to relax and just let things flow and you can run as fast as you want and you can just play ball. And I think that I was doing that really well, in college. and I'm still transitioning right now, and I think I need to do a lot better at that, just to be able to mentally let that go and mentally just play football again. And I think that's come along this year pretty well.
Guys, next up, Kyle Newman, go ahead.
Hey, Josie, obviously your Iowa roots are pretty well documented. As you've been trying to establish yourself as a pro these last couple of seasons, how do you lean, on those roots, on your family's football history, just kind of, growing up on the farm? Like, how do you kind of draw on that in your everyday job as a linebacker?
Yeah. So, I mean, it comes back to hard work, toughness, and really communication's huge. I mean, those are the three big things I'm trying to do right now is, every play I'm trying to outwork the hardest worker out there. And, I'm just trying to communicate out there with everybody. And, when you communicate on the football field, you're not only communicating with the person next to you, you're communicating with yourself, talking yourself through it. And, I think those things are just big. And, as the years go along, I keep on getting a little bit better and a little bit better at them. And hopefully we keep on progressing.
Guys, next up, Rod Mackey. Go ahead, Rod.
Josie, following up on Iowa there, how hard was it for you to see the devastation from that storm, and how is your family and everyone doing?
Yeah, so that was more in south central kind of area of Iowa. I think that was more in like Des Moines and that place. So the storms really didn't hit us, but they did have a lot of bad windstorms down there. A lot of trees over, a lot of houses kind of ruined and that stuff. So I know a couple of friends of mine that have been affected by it, but fortunately, all my family up in the northeast corner didn't get affected.
Next up, Zach Stevens. Go ahead. Time for a few more after Zach.
Hey, Josie, what steps do you think you need to take to become that starter, regardless of when that happens?
What was your first part there? Sorry.
What steps do you need to take to become the starter that you want to be?
Yeah, I think it's just improving on the things I already have, and that's communication. You get out there and you want to be the guy that's talking all the time. You want to be the guy that's, you're the linebacker, you're the person telling where people line up and stuff like that, and really just be able to work hard every single play and work hard not only in the sense of on the field but off the field. I think you can always watch more film, and I think this year I need to even watch more film than I did the last 2 years, just to understand the possibilities on each play, so you can have that, that first fast step. Coach Fangio always talks about that first second is where you win or lose downs a lot of the time, and that's just one thing I'm trying to get better at too, is the first second of every play. Not guessing, none of that, just having a good knowledge of what could or what won't happen.
Last one, Brandon Cristal. Go ahead, please.
Josie, back to something you just said about outworking the hardest worker. How do you do that, one, and who have you identified as some of those couple of guys that you need to outwork on every play, because you know that they're giving their 100, I guess 10%, if that's mathematically possible?
Yeah. So, I mean, I try to look at it as a linebacker room. So when we're watching film, and just in the linebacker room alone, I mean, we have a lot of hard workers. I don't think there's one guy that's lazy or anything like that. So you really just look at every play and you say, did you run as far as he did to go chase the ball, or did you stop early and not go do all of it? I mean, did you just loaf on the play or not? And then, when we're in the team room or the defensive room with everybody, you look at the safeties, you look at the linemen. If anybody's running past you, that's something you need to work on then, because nobody should ever be running past a linebacker chasing the ball. I mean, safeties, yeah, they're going to be faster, but you should always be one of those guys closest to the ball, and that's what you should pride yourself on as a linebacker, is always being around the ball. And, I think that's one of the things that you need to always keep in your mind is watch out for that hardest worker. And in this sense of this team, there's a lot of hard workers. I mean, when Todd was in, that dude's grinding all day, every day, and just staying up with him is very important, and trying to surpass him is important. So, that's what we try to do, is just work hard and believe in that.